All right, we are back. More Changemakers 21 coming up right now. In fact, we are joined by a very special guest, Mr. Kevin Lee. How are you doing, Kevin?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm really excited to have you on here. Some of the work that you're doing is amazing. And when you were nominated, I had never heard, just being honest, I had never heard of you or your organization. And that is why I think this work that ReVitalize is doing is so important. And I'm really honored to be on their board and part of the project. But there's so many unsung heroes out there, and I think you might have even used that word, maybe not those words, but something like your story needs to be told, and I'm excited to be one of the people that get to do that here today. So can you tell everybody who you are first and foremost?
Yeah, so first, I'm Kevin Lee. I'm the assistant director for my organization called Stomp the World. Do you want me to tell you a little bit about me and my background? All right.
Yeah, that'd be great. Like who are you and why you got involved with this?
All right. So I work in education. I've been to about three different school districts. I've worked for a preschool. And one of the reasons why I got involved in Stomp the World is because I started thinking of when I was a child how I wish there was organizations like we are where we create educational and life experiences outside the classroom for kids who don't have the resources. And so like there was nothing like that for me to get involved in. And so that's why I'm like very passionate about the work I do. And being an educator, I see what kids need. And something that I started noticing is there's a more need for out of the classroom experiences. And so, I mean, we can do everything in the classroom, but it's like it has to be more than just in the classroom. Some kids don't know that they have more than what's in their environment. And so that's one of the reasons why I got involved. Because as I said, I was a kid who wished I had these experiences. I grew up around gang and drug violence. And so school was my outlet. However, not every kid has that. And so I think with the work we do, we create that experience for these kids to show them that they have more than what's around them.
That's great. And you touched on it a little bit, but I really want to drill down a little bit if I could. Why is that so important to you? So I guess there's that old song, I can't remember. It's what happened was. So I want your what happened was. So what caused you to want to take action? Because I think that's a big thing. So many people have things that happen and it can be crippling to them or it can shut them down, but not you. You saw something or something happened and I don't know what it is. So this is all, none of this is like pre-scripted, but typically something happens that causes you to want to take action. And I'm curious what that was for you, if there was such a thing.
So for me, I mean, as I stated, I grew up around drug and gang violence, and I just knew I wanted more than that. And so, I mean, I've watched some of my friends get killed because they were part of gangs, and just like family members get killed by drugs, and it's just things like that. I knew I wanted more, and so when I say that the work that Stomp the World um, does that for kids, it's like I know that some of these kids that we do this for, they go through that. Not saying that every kid does, but some of those kids, and so I just am happy to be able to give them that sense of hope, if that makes sense. And so that's why I really got involved in it because I knew how my childhood was. And I feel like there's not a day where you turn on the news and you're not hearing about some kind of killing or shooting in the St. Louis area. And so it's heartbreaking that that is what a lot of our kids hear and know. And so I am just trying to be that person that continues to show them, look, if you want more, you can have more. If you want to get out of your environment, you can make it happen. Because I myself, I did. I grew up around it. However, I did not let it consume me. I went off. I went off to college, got my bachelor's and my master's, so it's possible, and you don't have to be a product of your environment. So that's why I'm very passionate about what I do.
That's awesome. And this program, this event that we're doing is called Changemakers. And for me, what I've just seen of you, and as soon as I found out about you, I started digging a little. But you're involved in a lot of different things where you're attempting to make a difference, and you volunteer your time, and you get very, very passionate about some of the things that you're doing. Can you share with our audience some of the other things that you're involved in?
So not only this organization, I work in education, as I've stated before. I'm also a religious school teacher for my Temple Emmanuel, and I volunteer my time for a lot of different things because I'm just passionate about kids. Like everything I do, it's for youth. And the way I look at it is our youth, they're our future. And so if we can educate them and give them the resources to set them up to be successful, I feel like at the end of the day, that's what's going to make a difference.
It's so true. Do you have any particular hurdles that you encountered when starting your organization or volunteering your time? Some struggles?
Definitely had a lot of struggles. Funding is one, but like I said, I just believe that if I give, eventually something's gonna come along and help us take off. But I mean, I volunteer my time. There's some days where I wake up, I go into work, I leave work, go straight to my organization's office, and I'm there tutoring, hanging out with kids if it's a Wednesday night for our teen chat. And it's like I do that even though sometimes I don't get home till like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. But it's like I'm a firm believer in do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And so that's how I look at it. I love the work that I do, so it doesn't feel like work, if that makes sense. It's like it's more like a hobby. And knowing that I'm making a difference, that's something that keeps me going and keeps me wanting to drive forward with this organization.
That's amazing. And I know that there's going to be some kid, some adult, some young man, some young woman, some young person that heard your story today and feels inspired to do something, but maybe they're not out with their bachelor's and master's degree yet. Maybe they're still in the thick of things, but they want to be involved. They want to do something. What advice in our last 30 seconds or so would you give to those people that are looking to make a difference and maybe don't know how or where to start, but want to have an impact?
I say definitely look within your community. Search to see like ways you can help within your community. I mean, we're always looking for volunteers to tutor. We're always looking for volunteers to help us with things like we have a big project that we're about to get started and we're looking for volunteers to help with that. So I say if you want to be part of that community, just reach out to us. We have a website, www.stomptheworld.org. You can visit us, reach out to us there. And I mean, we're always around. We plan on being around even if things get bad. Like through COVID, we stuck around and we put movement videos out there for people. And so we're just an organization. We want to help our community any way we can.
That's great. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for being on here. Congratulations on your nomination and being a 2021 Changemaker for ReVitalize. You're part of the inaugural class. This is the first time we've done this, and it'll be an every year thing, but you're one of the first. And again, honored to know you. Thanks so much for being on here. Uh, Guys, we'll be back with more Changemakers right after this. Stay tuned. We got a lot more to come. Thanks.